Ford's slogan in the 1980s and 1990s was "Quality is job one." However, it isn't relevant today because quality is now Ford's #1 concern. Although few people are aware of it, Ford has issued the most recalls this year. 6.8 million Ford vehicles have been subject to 46 different safety recalls, and the year is about halfway through. Today, join me as I will discuss the current NHTSA investigation into the Ford Bronco, the company's most recent round of recalls, and the steps Ford is taking to improve the situation and rebuild its reputation. Unwanted media attention is being heaped onto Ford. The most recent catalyst was the official opening of an investigation into the 2021 Ford Bronco by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. The additional 25,500 Broncos may be impacted if the NHTSA decides Ford must conduct a vehicle recall. So, let's go right to the problem. According to the NHTSA, the 2021 Ford Bronco owners have filed 26 different complaints. In essence, many owners reported losing power when traveling at highway speeds. Furthermore, it was crucially impossible for drivers to restart their engines once they lost momentum or had an engine failure. Unfortunately, except for the 2021 model, no other Bronco model years are included in the present investigation. Now, I want to be clear that the Ford Broncos with the smaller 2.3 liters EcoBoost i4 engines are not affected by this problem. However, the 2.7-liter EcoBoost V6 engines in the Broncos introduced new issues. Now, the 2.7-liter V6 turbocharger isn't just available on the Ford Bronco. The Ford 150 pickup also has the same engine. However, no probe of the Ford's F-150's machine has yet been launched. Why then were the Broncos deteriorating? The breakdown of the valves is what causes catastrophic engine failures. It all boiled down to the retainers not being secured by the valve keepers. The valve spring retainer is designed to be locked to the valve by valve keepers. The valve spring separates from the valve when the valve keepers malfunction, causing interference between the valve and the piston. This eventually causes the engine to lock up. Everything is merely an allegation because this is just an official NHTSA investigation. The NHTSA launched the inquiry to determine the claimed effect's extent, frequency, and safety-related repercussions. The NHTSA is forcing Ford to announce a recall or recognize any problems with the V6 because this is still an inquiry. But here's the thing. Issues with foreign engines are neither unique nor recent. Since late May 2022, engine problems and faults have been reported, several of which were also grave. When their cars lost all power, some drivers barely escaped serious injury. However, these engine problems have not yet been connected to mishaps or injuries. Ford hasn't yet declared a recall. According to some industry observers, this recall could happen soon. Most of these Broncos are possibly still covered by the original manufacturer's 60,000-mile guarantee, and hence the most sensible course of action would be to recall. If the NHTSA ultimately determines that these engines were defective from the start. If you're curious about Ford's response, the NHTSA met with the automaker representatives a month after receiving the concerns. We're only talking about June of last year. Ford still needs to make a formal statement about the investigations though. Even though they had previously mentioned that the Bronco's 5-year, 60,000-mile powertrain guarantee included engine breakdowns. Recalls are commonplace for any significant car make. It is inevitable if you are producing millions of cars since no corporation is perfect, and Ford is no exception. But let's consider the bigger picture. Recalls were just given just this year. Less than 1 million of their autos are affected by the Hyundai recalls. In actuality, nearly 1.3 million autos were recalled. The impact of Tesla's recalls is roughly 2.3 million vehicles, compared to 1.5 million for GM. Nonetheless, consider this year's Ford recalls affected 6.8 million vehicles. That is leaps and bounds, not simply a jump. Ford recalls affect more vehicles than any other automaker, and that doesn't even include the most recent probe into Bronco engine issues. No one wants to be ranked number 1 in this category. Although it's only a side point, General Motors has been responsible for most of the recalls during the past 22 years. In reality, 12,000 recalls have been issued in the United States over the past 22 years, and almost all of them concern vehicles made by GM, Ford, and Chrysler. You can come to your conclusions regarding these automakers. Regardless, this year is concerned. Just focus on the opening period. Ford recalled 330,800 Ford Mustangs from 2015 to 2017 in February. The backup cameras in the car's wiring were the cause of the issue. Ford then issued 2 additional recalls in March of this year. The first was a safety recall for 345,000 Ford automobiles because of engine oil leakage. Ford issued yet another recall for faulty brakes brought on by software problems that day, affecting 391,000 Ford vehicles. Finally, Ford recalled 39,000 of its 2021 Ford Expedition and Lincoln Navigator SUVs in May because of potential fire hazards. Another large-scale recall occurred in June. This time, Ford recalled 3.3 million vehicles because a damaged or missing item might cause the car to roll away and prevent it from engaging the proper gear. Additionally, Ford recalled 25,000 standard Mustangs that same month owing to faulty shift sensors. As a result, Ford has issued a lot of recalls. Ford is aware that this is unacceptable. Ford aspires to be a quality leader, but much work must be done before it can claim that position and a solid reputation. According to CEO Jim Farley, the long history of what some experts refer to as self-inflicted wounds at Ford makes it imperative for the business to save costs associated with warranty and recall operations. There are various theories about why my wife Ford has so many quality problems. Some claim that Ford is attempting to save money by making corners in areas like research and testing while moving too quickly to eliminate that technology. Others argue that skilled engineers purposefully use inexpensive parts from suppliers with the lowest bids. The launch approach used by Ford is another potential element. Ford releases far too many new models at once, and its model redesigns involve more revisions. While introducing a brand new model is difficult, it becomes even more difficult when you time several new launches to coincide. In comparison, several automakers space out their releases without using as many leftover parts. Let's examine the most recent Mustang Mach-E electric vehicle recall from Ford. The problem only affected a few vehicles. The high-voltage battery main contactors were overheating due to the fast DC charging and frequent wide-open pedal events. That is extremely risky. Arcing and distortion of electrical contact surfaces can result from overheating. If that were to occur, the contractor would stay open or totally weld shut. If this were to occur, power would be lost, significantly raising the chance of an accident. Ford is resolving this problem, according to the NHTSA. A software upgrade that will appear soon is expected to fix the issue. There isn't a stop sale order on the model at present. Automobile dealers are free to market the equipment, but the software update must be done first before any Mach-E deliveries can happen. The particular machines included in the recall were those created between May 2020 and May 2022. That is a significant portion of production's current run of 100,000 units. This implies that about 49,000 vehicles in the US alone could be affected. Ford now intends to provide owners with a simple choice. They'll deliver an over-the-air software update for the secondary onboard diagnostic control module and the battery energy control module. Therefore, rather than having to return their vehicles entirely, Mach-E owners can visit a dealer to install these updates. But the Ford Mach-E has had other recalls in the past as well. Ford has already recalled the Mach-E 5 times. Both hardware and software related calls have been made in the last 3 calls. but none have had as much of a car impact as this most recent recall. Ford was ranked first in the United States for warranty repairs and recall expenditures last year. I'm not just talking about the auto industry here. I'm talking about a top firm for warranty payouts, which includes businesses like Apple. Ford set aside more than $4 billion for warranty expenses the previous year. That is an increase of 76% from 5 years ago. Ford's total warranty costs climbed by 17% between 2016 and 2021. Ford allocated the most money per vehicle for recalls and warranty fixes. For each Ford vehicle, Ford set aside $1,041 to cover warranty claims. Compare it with rival General Motors, which only budgeted $713 per vehicle. Except for potential recalls and quality problems they are previously known, which is why they pre-allocated this cash. In addition to losing money, they are also incurring higher costs. I'm referring to a Ford brand losing the trust of customers. Considering its recent track record, do you have the same faith and reliability as a Ford car? If you didn't already, I'm sure you'd be beginning to question the decision to acquire a Ford in the first place by this point. Now, thank you for reaching this point. Make sure to finish this video to know more. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe if you are new to this channel, and like, comment, share, and hit the notification bell for more upcoming videos like this. Recall that some quality problems grew so severe that Ford appointed Josh Halliburton as the new executive director of quality. Halliburton joined the firm at that time, a newly created post under Jim Farley, the CEO of Ford. Halliburton's job is crucial because it involves upheaving Ford's status quo. Josh Halliburton, 46, is a former employee of J.D. Power and an auto researcher who provided businesses with production quality advice. Josh Halliburton's current responsibility is to support the organization's bigger goal of reducing annual costs by $3 billion by 2026. They can divert those resources to more pressing needs like testing and research if they can spend a few $1 billion annually on warranty repairs and recalls. For instance, increase your investment in manufacturing facilities, new EV technology, and new model development. Halliburton's approach is to enhance the way Ford recognizes issues. The concept calls for cameras to record problems as automobiles are being constructed. Ford recently put in video cameras to watch over its prototypes and target any processes they can streamline or cut out. Additionally, Halliburton intends to encourage staff members to raise issues with manufacturing and design early on. To avoid quality problems emerging later in the development process, he wants to devote more time and attention to ensuring everything is done correctly up front. Finally, Halliburton intends to utilize social media to track down consumer complaints. The Florida Ready crew is constantly active. For instance, they kept an eye on various social media sites during the introduction of the Ford Mustang Mach-E and interacted with buyers about their issues. Halliburton wants to step it up now, though. In 2023, Halliburton anticipates forage warranty issues to decrease. However, at the absolute least, it may take 2 to 3 years to get more perfect outcomes. Therefore, it will take a few more years before it becomes clear whether Halliburton is saving Ford. Nevertheless, all eyes are on the ship now since there is a critical junction, making it all extremely exciting. We are discussing the Ford Motor Company, a classic example of an American business. Deep Roots has been around since 1930, referring to the production of more than 4 million automobiles annually by the fourth largest automaker in the world, which has $127 billion in revenue. But now you're telling me you drive a Ford that's being recalled? And that's it. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for your support. Please share your experience in the comments section below. Before you leave, did you know that although it was probably one of Ford's brightest ideas to introduce the Maverick, the company now finds itself in hot water? The Ford Maverick was designed to be a more compact and affordable alternative to full-size pickups for the mass market. However, Ford's CEO has issues with the Maverick and has confirmed a massive recall. So to know more, make sure to click and watch this video here. See you there!